Namaste. Hello, everyone. Great evening. This evening, I just wanted to touch base on how to know if you're ready for a full-on path to realization. Okay. Now, people always say, oh, I want to get to realization. I want enlightenment. I'm so ready. And yet they're engaging in these lives with boyfriends and this and that and relationships and parties and all these other dramas. But honestly speaking, to get to realization, it takes 100% focus. It has to be your every breath. Like Ramana said, you have to want it more than you want your next drink of water or your next breath of air. If you don't want it that much, okay, then forget it. You're not ready, okay? Because it takes awakening Kundalini, and that's 24/7, okay? If you can't even think of giving up relationship, not willing to put that on hold, relationships and sex and all of that, then you don't have enough staying power to face what's going to come up on the path to realization. Okay? Because again, your whole focus has to be 24/7, internalized, watching. Because again, you have kriyas that come up. You have so many of these cities that come up. All of your fears will be faced. They will come up in your face to be transitioned through. You may have to go through the dark night of the soul. Okay? And if you think you can do those things, if you think you can stay internalized when you're chasing relationship and sex and all these, parties and dramas and all of this social structure, it's not going to happen. Okay, this doesn't mean you can't walk a very deep spiritual path. You can, but please don't fool yourself into thinking that you can do both at one time and get to realization. Okay? Because when you're having relationship, etc., it's pulling you externalized. If you want to go out and you're wanting to party and you're wanting to do those things, you're pulling out externalized. Okay? But when Kundalini awakens to get to realization, one has to stay internalized, always in that observation mode, in witness state, unattached. How are you going to develop vairagya, unattachment, when you're grasping at this and grasping at that? So it takes being absolutely dedicated, wanting to know God, wanting to know truth, wanting to be free of the world at any cost. That's what it takes to have enough focus to dedicate all of your time, all of your attention, all of your intention to go forward to realization. It's not an easy path. Doesn't mean you can't do it while you're working. If you have children to raise, you can. But again, it's difficult. It's very difficult. Okay? Because again, your focus has to be 100% on that journey. Without turning to the left or to the right, you can't be looking here and there and engaging in all this other stuff. In fact, it doesn't even come up to be really wanting those things. it's not so important. There is such a longing to know God, to know truth, to want to be free of the world at all costs, that the other things mean nothing. One's willing to forego them to go forward. And that's truly being in sannyas. Okay, it's not necessarily wearing kavi. It's not putting fake jeta in your hair. Okay? It's that attention. It's that sincerity. It's that one point of focus that goes forward and continues to surrender along the way. To walk that journey of the mystic. Okay? So that's what it takes if one is really sincerely dedicated to realization. You will have this burning desire. Okay? Like Ramana, he left home when he was a kid. He left home. There's this burning desire that takes place. Okay? Ramakrishna, he was married, but he had no type of relationship with his wife like that. He was totally dedicated to Kali, 100%. His attention was there. His intention was there. That's what remains, okay? If you finish the journey and at that point in time you want to go forward, have relationship, whatever, doesn't matter. Your journey is done. You've completed that. Okay, now it's time for play. Whatever. But while you're on the journey, one is best to be celibate in mind, body, and deed. Okay, mind, body, deed, celibacy. Okay. I know, scary for some people. Okay. But again, if that's your total focus, and some people, like you said, for me, it came at an early age. I was very drawn to the mystic's path at a young age. Okay. So most of my life I have lived alone. Okay. Yes, I had gotten married. I was military, got married, but we never spent time together. It was very short-lived. Okay, had my child, raised her, but very short-lived. So anyway, again, I just wanted to put that out there for people to understand what it takes. One has to face the death before death. One is woke up in the middle of the night. I mean, you have fires. You feel like you're going to spontaneously combust. You feel the weight of the world. You go through the dark night of the soul. How are you going to face those things if you are trying to be in relationship? It's very difficult, okay? Then you will have experience after experience after experience, but you'll continue to reroute as persona because you keep externalizing, because you're in relationship. Relationship pulls you out, externalization. Okay. So I'm going to leave this here. I hope this has aided some to understand what it takes to get to realization. It's being in constant meditation, constant awareness, putting the practices into place until they become spontaneous in nature. Okay? Until the mind stills. Once the mind stills, then you're in 24-hour-a-day meditation. It's not effort anymore. It's effortless. But if people think that they're going to get on a path, and this is, I get this all the time. People think, oh, I just have to get on the path and I can do it. I can be in a relationship and I'm going to be realized in a year. And I laugh because it takes years. Like I said, my Kundalini awakened when I was around 19 years old, 18, 19, and it didn't complete until 49. And for all those years it was raging, and for all those years I had to have one pointed focus, neither looking here nor there. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here. I hope it's helped some people to understand. Again, doesn't mean you can't be on a spiritual path and have depth and go forward, you know, to go forward in your journey into much greater depths than what you have now. But to think that you're going to have relationship and in the midst of relationship get to realization, I don't think I know of any master that was able to do that. I can't think of one that's actually married and was having relationships with somebody that entered realization. Doesn't happen. Okay. Again, because one is externalized. Okay. So namaste. Have a great evening. See you all soon.